just sitting down writing a bit of a to-do list, and I've been having a bit of a think about kind of these videos and the form that I've been putting out. And as much as I used to just put out really polished cinematic content, I'm trying to do a lot more kind of real and raw. I still end up cutting a lot. One, just because I don't speak very concisely, and two, I just like to cut out. I feel like I've gotten used to the fast-paced sort of edits, and I like to cut out any kind of pauses and gaps and things that just drag it out. But funny enough, as I'm making YouTube videos now, I've never really watched YouTube much at all. I've never been a person that watches YouTube. I watch YouTube videos when I need a tutorial on how to do something, but I'm not someone who watches vlogs or who watches other people's channels kind of on a regular basis. And so I've got no real grounding of what videos should look like. And I've just kind of gone off what I want to make, which I guess is a good thing, because it's then just purely my style and not influenced by anyone else. But I think there's also something to be said for, it's the saying, steal like an artist. And it's, if other people are doing things and they're working, don't try and fix them, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Like, if it's working, reuse that. And so today I just started watching a few of people's YouTube videos, and I feel like I can definitely learn a lot from that. There's also an element of, I think, this channel, the whole reason I'm starting is because I want to get better at this. I've got 5 months of this. That's what, like 20, 30 videos, 20 odd. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of videos to get better at this. So yeah, maybe I'll start sharing in a bit more of a longer form content, less cut. I'd love to hear from you guys if you like long videos, short videos. At the moment, I've been trying to keep them under 10 minutes just so they don't drag on too much, but then I see a lot of creators putting out 30, 40-minute videos. To me, that seems like a lot, but maybe not so much to other people. Maybe you'd find value in that. I'm not sure. That's just my little thought. I've been writing this to-do list anyways. And yeah, we'll work on that. We'll develop on it. This is definitely just a practice really for me. These first few weeks, even first month or two, is just practice. Learning what I like, what I don't like, getting better at filming moments, getting better at speaking to the camera, getting better at the whole thing in itself, and mastering my craft as a filmmaker, as a solo filmmaker. And really what I want to be putting out is something that you find interesting, that I find interesting, and that is also cinematic and of high quality as well, because to me, that is a real defining factor of quality video. Not just the content, not just the what's being said and the value provided, but also the quality of the actual footage and the audio. So to me, I really want to nail all of those things. Obviously, that's a pretty high standard, but if you know me, you know that that's just how I roll. I set very high standards for myself, and we make it happen one way or another. It might take us a few months to get there, but we'll make it happen. So that is the goal, and that's what we're working towards. I have just picked up a hire car, and I have some super exciting news. But first, a little recap on the last 2 days or so. Has been absolute chaos. Booking hostels literally the night of, I think I booked one hostel at 8 p.m. and I was staying that night. Just been waiting on calls, messages to confirm whether I can buy this van or not. It's been back and forth with the owner, and finally, last night, I got the confirmation we're good to go. So I've just picked up a hired car. I'm going to drive down to go get the van, and there's a few complications with the licensing and papers and stuff, so I can't actually transfer it into my name until next week, until when I get my residency documents. It's also been a while since I've driven on European roads, so it's interesting being back on the wrong side of the road for me. It's taken a bit of getting used to, just driving around the city here. Wish me luck. We have just come to Place of Tools. Old trolley. I have no clue what I'm doing. It's gonna be fun. I've been here for almost 2 hours, but we're getting there. We've almost got everything I think I need. It's been tricky trying to find, it's not exactly what I wanted, so I'm trying to like find alternatives, calculate how much of things I need. I'm homeless tonight, so I'm planning just to sleep in the van with all this crap. So I need to go find myself a camping mattress and sleeping bag and pillow. What am I doing to myself? First a hardware store, now a mega camping store. I need to get out of this place. This is dangerous. Like, I found what I was looking for in the first 10 minutes, and I spent another 20 minutes just walking around. Like, I'm in the bicycle section. What am I doing here? I'm not buying a bicycle, but they look nice. So much nice stuff here. It's honestly dangerous. Like, I could spend thousands. Today's been one of the biggest days yet. I am absolutely exhausted, but I'll fill you all in on what I've been up to. But first, I've got someone you need to meet. This is Maya. Would you look at that? This is it. This is my new home on wheels for the next 5 months. It's crazy to say that. 5 months and we're living out of this thing. I can stand up, which is amazing. I'm like 6'2", so finding a van that I can stand up in is not easy. Well, this is officially my first dinner of 5 months living out of a van. Night 1 in Mayo. I'm cooked. It's like almost midnight. Been a huge day. So much has happened, but time for sleep now. We are back at the hardware store. Different hardware store this time. This one seems a bit bigger. Loki should have come here first because they have tools that seem cheaper than the ones I got, but living the line. Back in the van, I've spent a lot of time driving the last 2 days around in the hire car. Probably a good thing because it means I'm getting much more familiar with driving on European roads, on the other side of the road and all of that, and in the small little automatic hire car, which has been super nice to drive before I start driving around in this big boy. But I just got a message today from the old owner saying he's sorted out the insurance, which means I can drive her on the road now without any worry. So I've spotted a spot in the past few days I've been driving through that I thought would look beautiful, take some shots of the van at sunset. The sun is setting now, so I'm going to rush there and see if I can get a few shots. But yeah, excited to drive around a bit. First time filling my air up, she's completely empty. So let's find out how much this is going to cost me. That's it, it's just full. 72 litres. So I reckon we probably got a 75 litre tank. Cost me 110 euros. So I decided to only buy 2 power tools, a jigsaw and a drill. And I figured I can pretty much do everything to do with those 2 tools. I bought just 1 battery because I was like, I'll just get one of the, there was an option to either buy 2 smaller batteries or 1 bigger battery. The 2 small batteries were combined were less power than the 1 big battery, so I figured it was a better option to buy the big battery and just swap between the 2 because I'm using both at the same time. Now, I had to buy all the things separately, so I bought a charger as well separately, it didn't all come as one. And I went to plug it in last night. It was a hassle to try and find a charging port because obviously I'm not staying somewhere at the moment. But I found somewhere, plugged it in, and the light was just green. And like I looked on the thing and it said like green was just meant to be like charged, and the light just didn't change. And so I was a bit confused. I was like, okay, that's weird. I plugged it in for like half an hour or something like that. Checked it, nothing. Left it for another half an hour. Checked it again, and like the battery just wasn't showing anything at all. So I've come back today to return it. It's only like a 15-minute drive, but drove down here, and just 5 minutes before I got here, I realized I'd left the receipt back in the van. So now I have to drive back. I went in and asked them, they had a look at it, and they're like, yeah, we can return it for you, but you need the receipt. So I've got to drive all the way back, get the receipt, and come back again. Second time lucky, came back with the receipt and they swapped out the battery. Turns out the battery was just an absolute dud. The first one when I got it, you press the light, nothing came on at all. And when you put it in the charger, it didn't register. So just tested this one here as well to make sure I have to come back a second time that it wasn't the charger. But yes, we've got a good one. This one works now, so now I can go charge it. Now I just have to go find somewhere to actually charge it. Found a cafe that has power. This little kind of corner store. It's a bit dero, but hey, there's power points. I've got the battery on charging and I've ordered some food, so I feel like I needed a feed. Also gives me a chance to sit down and finish YouTube video because that's due to post tomorrow. Took just over 2 hours for the battery to fully charge, but it's fully charged now, so we've got that and it should last a fair while because it's a 4 amp hour battery. I also managed to get pretty much the whole YouTube video edited in that time, which is great. Only thing I didn't get done was adding music to it because Artlist just wasn't loading. I'm not sure what was going on there, but I'll get to that maybe tonight. And then, yeah, hopefully get that scheduled and good to go for tomorrow. We're off. This is, I keep on saying in the beginning, but this is the beginning of the next leg. We're off to Europe. Today is going to look a little bit different. I have to return the hire car today. So I need to, currently I have 2 cars parked here in this little random car park, and I've got to drive the hire car back to Utrecht, which is about an hour and 10 minutes away, drop the hire car back, then catch a train back down here. Only issue is this car park is about 5-6 kilometers away from the train station. So my current plan is to run from the train station back to the van. Now I've got the van as well, I can go pick up some bigger sheets of wood. So I'll probably stop by the hardware store and get the pieces that I couldn't pick up before. And then this evening, I'm going to go and catch up with some family. They've offered me to come stay for a couple of days and works out really well. Today has been spent a lot of just logistics, getting to and from the car, dropping the hire car off, and then did a bunch of measuring up. I didn't film any of it, but I measured up all of the interior dimensions and worked out how I'm going to line all the walls with wood. And then I've gone and bought all the wood I need. So I've got a bunch of sheets of plywood here. So I was originally planning to do it all with like tongue and groove panel pine lining, but I decided 1, it's going to be quite expensive, and 2, not really practical. So my now plan is to do the walls all with just some thin plywood, and then the roof I'll still do the nice pine tongue and groove boards. So that way we get a bit of both, and I'm going to paint the plywood white to keep it nice and light, and then the wood would kind of be a nice feature down the center on the roof. So that's the current plan for that. I'm now just using some of the old panels, crappy MDF panels that I took off the doors, to mark out and use these as templates for cutting out the plywood to replace them with. On the doors, I'm literally just going to replace the exact same panels, so that's super easy. Just going to obviously use something that's a lot nicer than this crappy MDF. But yeah, great idea to keep those panels, don't just throw them out. You can use them as templates, save you the hassle of trying to measure and draw up those when you've just got a template there to draw out. Something I haven't really shared any of yet has been income while I've been on the road, and that's because I've been very much just in the getting up and going stage at the moment. I'll be showing a lot more on that once we're actually living out of the van and kind of settle into a bit of a routine, and I can start to do some more outreach and get some more brands on board. But this week there is a bit of income. I managed to get another job with Luminart Neo. It was actually a completely separate department that reached out to me this time looking for some creative assets, and they were asking me to put together a sky replacement pack. So I've been trying to capture a few skies over the last week or two while I've been traveling. The skies haven't been that amazing, so I didn't get a heap, but currently I'm just digging back through my archives, and I have obviously been shooting for about 4 years, so I've got quite a few shots that I can pull from, which is pretty unreal.
to be able to make money off stuff that I already have, basically content that I already shot. I just get to recycle. All I have to do now is just go through, crop them, and just basically export them at the dimensions they want and create a few before and afters. And it's actually quite well paying, so I'm stoked. That'll be a nice little bit of income that'll help with the fit out of the van.
Time to do a supplies run. Got a few things I need to get that I run out of. So I'll take all the wood out of the van, live undercover here, and head into town. Couldn't be bothered putting this all back on because I'll take it off again. So we're just driving like this, bit rogue, having this all just kind of open and gear sticks just like exposed. If you ever wonder what a gear stick looks like, there you go. Today is going to be a big one. I have to drive all the way up to Amsterdam to go pick up my visa documents. So just going to get a bit of work done this morning. Yesterday I managed to get pretty much all of the panels in. Started building out the cabinet up here, and it's all starting to come together. It's actually starting to look like somewhat of a livable space. This morning I'm just going to try and get the last of these big sheets of ply cut up. This big one here needs to be cut into pieces for the rest of this cabinet and also the overhead storage space there. On my way north, I'm also planning on heading up to a big camper van RV mega store, which is in the north of the Netherlands. So that's where I can buy my solar panels, 12 volt gear, ventilation fan, all that sort of thing. So I want to wait to put the roof in until I have the ventilation fan. I can cut the hole in the roof. That's going to be nerve-wracking as hell. And then frame around that and everything.
All right, we're going full stealth mode camping tonight. It's still light outside, and I've just pulled up in this random parking lot, so I've put up plywood to black out all of the windows, so no one will know I'm here. It looks like a commercial van from the outside, and just blacked out windows. So, in theory, no one should know I'm in here at all, and I'm just trying to be really quiet so that no one knows I'm in here. I've got my dinner, and I'm going to try and get an early-ish night so I can get a heap done tomorrow. Heading to this giant mega camper van RV store tomorrow to go source a bunch of the 12 volt solar and camper accessories, so that should be a lot of fun. Imagine I'm going to get lost in there for quite a few hours and spend a lot of money, but that's always fun. So that's what's in the cards for tomorrow. Tonight, though, I'm just me and my little lantern. It does go bright, but I'm trying to keep it the low key, so dim this right down, have a mood lighting dinner, and hit the hay.
I've just spent the last hour sitting in the car park of this camper van mega store. Just had a bit of work to get done. Need to finish off that Skies pack for Limited Near as it's due today, and I realised I hadn't done the before and after edits, so just had to mock up a few of those before and after edits so they can make little sliders, and that's all good to go. So I just sent that off. This place just opened about half an hour ago. There was people waiting at the door to go in. I was watching, so I'm going to go explore. When I arrived here and drove around, this place is huge, like massive warehouse spec. So I think this is going to be a almost full day mission. I've got my list of everything that I need to get. Friggin' long list. Also, just trying to keep me on track though so that I don't get lost. I stayed up last night writing this. Hopefully this is everything I need. I have a feeling I've probably forgotten some things. I'll probably walk around and be like, oh, that looks good. I need that. But just so I don't miss anything and try not to buy too many extra things as well. Damn, there's some nice air conditioning units. But we're on a budget, so yeah, that's more like it. This place is elite.
It has absolutely everything. I'm currently in like the camper van accessories, and I've just got like, it's like jerry cans, 12-volt pumps, taps, sinks, like all the stuff that you need. It's unreal, and like everything down to like all the little plumbing parts. Like, I'm in absolute heaven. This is unreal. And who would have thought that one of my toughest decisions right now is what sink to get? Update. We are currently in the 12-volt section. I think I've been here for an hour or two now. Honestly, it's taking me so long to work out what I want. I thought I knew what I wanted, and I started looking at price, and I was like, oh my God, it's going to cost so much. And then I'm like, well, it's worth it because having good power is really important for me being on the road. And then I'm like, do I get an inverter? Then the inverter's only like 90 euros. I was like, well, that's the least of my worries. Like, I think having an inverter will be very helpful for charging laptop quickly, charging drone batteries, all that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's going to be super slow trickle off the 12-volt stuff. There's an entire camping festival worth of tents displayed here. This is wild. You could literally have a small village in here. I already have everything that I need, but I'm so curious about this place. I kind of just want to have a walk around and have a look. I have already been here for 5 hours though. All right, this is our hall. The only thing we're missing in there is solar panels and the fridge. I've decided it's going to be easy to order those just online rather than taking them big and bulky, and I don't need them immediately, so I'm going to get them sent to my family's place. Made it out. It was 6 hours in there. 6 hours I spent. And we also spent about 2,000 Australian, a little over 1,000 euros. And we've got a whole shopping cart full. I initially anticipated about 4 grand in expenses for the build. I think we might be a little over that. I think we might come up to about 5 grand, but I haven't done all the totals yet as to where we're up to so far. I've been cutting the receipts though. I'm going to do a full breakdown of all the costs and everything, so I will let you know what we end up coming to for the total expenses. I've just parked up here and we're going to get into some work on the van. Pretty bloody awesome spot for a workshop. It's absolutely beautiful here. When I'm not talking, you can hear all the birds chitter chattering and just the wind blowing in the trees, and it's so peaceful. Behind me, you can see the haul that we got from Oblink. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but lots of new toys to play with, specifically a bunch of 12-volt stuff. We've got ourselves an inverter, solar charger, DC to DC charger to charge while we're driving, and a whole bunch of other fans, toilet, sink, plumbing, water pumps, and a lot. So pretty much all the nitty-gritty details that I was missing. Currently parked at the front of a supermarket and it's raining, pretty miserable. Just trying to decide what to do because I obviously came up north to go to Oblink, but also to pick up my visa docs from Amsterdam. Now, they were supposed to be ready yesterday or the day before. I haven't heard anything. So I'm hoping that they'll be ready today, but otherwise I'm just kind of kicking it around up northern end of Netherlands, just waiting for these docs to be ready and trying to find somewhere to work on the van, basically. Not really sure where I'm going to go. I had the thought to just go and park in like a hardware store car park. So if I need any parts, I can just duck into the hardware store and get parts. This is today's office. We are parked in the corner of the car park of the hardware store over there. It's raining and we're just going to try and punch out as much work as we can in the van while it's raining. Got kicked out of the car park because they were closing. So we've now moved to the spot where we're going to camp tonight. I think you can see because it's stupidly bright, but we're out in the forest. It's absolutely stunning, as was last night's. And you might have noticed, roof here is almost done. One more piece on the side here, and then this last bit is going to be in the cabinet, so I'm not going to bother roofing that. Almost there, last piece. Let's go. We just got our first fine, and it's not for what I would have thought I would get a fine for, but it's purely just for parking in the wrong spot, apparently. Apparently, I'm not allowed to park here. I can park 10 meters over there. Now, we're out in the bush here. I didn't really realize there was any difference. I thought people had driven in here before. It looked kind of like a parking spot. There's no signage, so I had no way to really know that I wasn't allowed to park here, but apparently I'm not. So that's a €100 fine, which I'm not stoked about, but hey, it's only €100, I guess. However, I was stressing a bit. They started asking for registration, ID, and everything. I was like, well, car's still not technically registered in my name. And so they ran all the documents. I explained the situation to them that I'm still waiting for my documents to be ready to go pick up. They've been approved, but just waiting for them to be ready to be collected. Because it's a long weekend, there's obviously been delays with that. So I hadn't got that all sorted yet. I just purchased the car and I was waiting to transfer the papers over the minute that I got my documents. They literally took like half an hour cross-checking, calling people. They called the owner, which I feel terrible about because I didn't think that this would be an issue, but just because I parked on the wrong side of the tree, it now has become an issue. Luckily though, after all of that, they basically let me off. They said it's okay. It's just that I'm not covered for insurance. So if I have an accident, it's on me, which I already knew that. It's still okay to drive the car though, so that's fine. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't spiral and cause any other issues. They checked everything though, and all my documents came back clean and everything like that, and the application and stuff all seemed to be fine. So fingers crossed that it's just a €100 fine and that's it. But it was a bit nerve-wracking because there was one car pulled up, they started questioning me, and then a second car pulled up and these other two guys came, and I was like, oh shit, like what have I done? I thought I was just parking here. They then started telling me I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. I ended up chatting to one guy though, or the other three, went and sorted out details, and he was lovely, super helpful. He said they weren't going to find me at all, and then his colleague came over and said they had to find me. So the nice guy did give me one tip though. He said sleeping in your car is prohibited in the Netherlands, and they're pretty strict on it apparently. Obviously I've got away with it for the last week and a half or so, and I still haven't got caught. That's what I thought I was going to get done for, that's what I'd expect to get done for, but didn't get caught in that. But apparently there's these things called carpools, which I've seen signs of them around, and it's where like trucks can park, and it's just like a parking lot basically. Apparently you are allowed to sleep in your car there. So that might be the shout to go park there overnight. Have hit a bit of a wall with motivation on the build today. Not really sure why exactly. I think the whole little Ranger incident yesterday just kind of threw me a bit, shook my confidence a little. It wasn't really a big deal or anything like that, just kind of, and I'm now just like overthinking, oh, should I like be working here? Like, am I going to get told off? Like, and that's just, and I'm also at a point with the build now where it's kind of the start of the next phase, and I'm just procrastinating because I'm not sure exactly how to do it. Or just, measurements and stuff like that. I'm just trying to calculate what's going to be best, and I just keep on doing the math over and over and changing my mind on what I want. So haven't really got anything done yet this morning. It's only 7 o'clock, but just lacking motivation to get into it today. I have a call with the fam in a bit, so maybe that'll help motivate me. Show them what I've done so far. They haven't really, last time I spoke to them, I hadn't even got the van yet, so it'll be nice to kind of give them an update on everything and show what I've done so far. It's looking, it's almost there, like it's almost to the point where I can paint, and I think once I can do that, then
be a massive step forward. Then I can really just start like finishing touches and stuff like that and actually making it livable. But my biggest roadblock at the moment is just these window sections behind this bit of plywood here, but trying to line those with ply because I want to maximize the width that I can get so that I have space to sleep east to west across. And there's these kind of struts in the middle, so if I was just running a piece of ply all the way across, I would lose out on about 3 or 4 centimeters on each side, which is 6, 7 centimeters something total, which is a fair bit. Like, that'd be great to have extra for sleeping room. So just trying to work out a way that I can kind of like inset and then build out around the, and it's just gonna be a bit messy. It's just gonna be lots of like little joins and stuff. And probably going to be easier to do once I'm back at family's place and I can use the circular saw again, because while the jigsaw is great for cutting most things, when you're trying to cut dead straight lines, it just kind of sucks. It's really hard to cut nice straight lines with a jigsaw unless you have a jig to follow, which, yeah, I just don't have great setup to be able to do that either. So it's just, circular saw is definitely the better option for cutting nice straight lines. So I will wait, I think, to cut all of that once I get back to fam's place, which now I'm just kind of keen to do that. But I'm still waiting for these damn residency papers. It's been like 4 days. Obviously, it's been a long weekend, so that's been the delay. But I'm hoping I'll hear something this morning. If I don't hear anything by midday today, I'm going to give them a call and try and suss out. Because everywhere I looked on their website, everywhere advertised says it'll be 2 weeks after you get biometrics done. And it's been almost 3 weeks now. So yeah, kind of antsy on those. Also, obviously, the whole dilemma yesterday with the Rangers. Just want to get this thing registered in my name ASAP so that that's not an issue. Like, obviously, they let it slide and it's all good. But they were just like, yeah, make sure you get it registered as soon as you can.
Have been waiting the last almost week for my visa docs to be ready. They said they'd send me an email once they're ready or a text message. I received nothing, so I've just been kind of assuming they're not ready yet. It's been a long weekend, so I thought maybe that was delaying things. And then I tried to give them a call, of course, realizing that I only have a data SIM, so I couldn't actually make a call. So yesterday I went to the shops and I bought a prepaid SIM to try and give them a call. Tried to give them a call this morning and I was on hold for like 20 minutes or something like that, and then the SIM cut out. Apparently that's all the prepaid allowance it had on it. So then I had to try and work out how to load more onto it so that I could call again. Called again, was on hold for like literally half an hour again. I was starting to worry that it was going to run out again. I did load on like an hour's worth of calls. I was like, surely I'll be safe with that. Finally got through to someone and asked about it, and apparently they're ready in Amsterdam, ready to go, sitting at the desk. Would have been nice to let me know sooner. So I don't know how many days they've been ready for. Wish I'd called sooner, but it's been a long weekend, so I guess I couldn't have called in sooner anyways. But docs are ready, so we can go get them. I have to book an appointment to go pick them up, so I'm not sure how to get them today. I have to do it tomorrow morning, but that is a massive relief they're ready.
After trying to book an appointment to go pick up my documents yesterday, I found that there's no available appointments for the next 10 days. So I gave them a call. I had to wait and hold for another half an hour. Finally got through and asked if there was any way possible to pick them up sooner. The documents are ready. They're sitting at the counter. I just have to book an appointment to go pick them up. And after about 10 minutes of going back and forth on the call, she said there's a few valid reasons to push it forward. Buying a car was not one of them. So it's pretty much out of my hands. There's nothing I can do. I tried kind of bluffing my way through it. She wasn't going to take it. There was pretty much no option. I had to book an appointment for, I think it's 9 days from now, 10 days from yesterday. So here we are. I'm back at my family's place and I'm going to be here for the next couple of days because I had a few things I had to get ordered online. So they're getting delivered in the next few days. So I'll get those, which is fridge, solar panels, battery, and mattress. Once all those things arrive, hopefully I'll have the van pretty well fitted out in the next few days. And then I'll be ready to just hit the road and start camping around. Obviously I'll have to wait, another week after that or so to go and get the documents and get this thing registered in my name, which is a bit of an issue with being out and traveling around if it's not registered my name. So I may just stay here, or I'll have to work out the best situation. But for now, keen to just get stuck into a big day of work today. I've got a fair bit cut out that I can do. I've pretty much got all my materials and everything I need. So today we're going to be building the rest of the interior furniture, I guess, the kitchen area, seats, and storage and table. So that is what's on today's agenda. And I think I'll have to finish up these cabinets. I was really stoked when I put them up. And then once I've screwed them in, the spacing has gone out a bit. I think the wood wasn't dead straight that I attached them to. And so now that they're up, some of them are too tight, they don't close properly, and this one has a bit of a gap. So I might have to do a bit of repositioning to get these opening and closing nicely. But for the time being, they do open and close nicely, hinged, which I'm pretty stoked with. Super easy to just... Oh, that slams. I'm going to have to be careful with that. Might have to put some little dampeners on there so it doesn't just slam close. Or obviously they'll have handles on them, so that'll make things easier. But pretty happy with that. A few little details to iron out, but it's all starting to come together. It's feeling a lot more like a home, and starting to get an idea of the layout now, which is really nice. Bit of a feeling once I put the bed and this seating area in as to the space we have here. This will be kitchen here. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It's starting to come alive now, and it's very exciting.